All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Aaron. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Awesome. Awesome. Good to be back. Let me tell you, we took a little break last week. I was actually in the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for your thoughts and prayers and all that. And a little gallbladder issue, but we're all back on track now. So thank you all and for your patience and whatnot. And see a lot of people still joining us here. So good to have you all here. Also broadcasting live on YouTube, and a lot of people on here tonight. It's going to be very exciting indeed. So I want to just remind you before we get moving forward that there is a questions and answer box. Please find that. You'll find the Q&A icon on your Zoom dashboards. Just click on that. Aaron and I are the ones who see that, so go ahead and say whatever you want. Ask questions, and hey, let's get started. All right, I think if I hit this button, we should be good to go. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DayTradeSPY.com's Week in Review. It is Sunday, September the 17th, 2023. Yours truly, Humble Hugh, and along with my co-host this evening, I should say, the infamous Aaron Stevens. I say this morning because we're so used to saying this morning, right, in the trading room. But anyway, you're there, we're here. That's what's important. And again, a lot of people still coming on. So let's get moving, folks. By attending this webinar, you fully understand and accept the financial risks involved in trading securities. The risk of loss can be substantial. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your personal investment objectives and financial resources. By accessing this webinar, you understand you're not receiving any advice as to what to buy or sell, but simply receiving information for educational purposes only. Any decisions concerning your trade are solely your own to meet your personal objectives and risk tolerances. You're only responsible for all your own trading, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Charts are courtesy of TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim and also Tasty Works in case we go down that path. So, all right, week in review. There I am. Yes, live. This is a live session here. Just trying to see if see how this is showing up here. Okay, looks good. Looks good so far. All right, let me find my PowerPoint. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't see. All right, so again, I mentioned the questions box, and I am the presenter. A little bit of a background about myself, folks. I come from a corporate America background. Used to be an internal auditor. Handed off a lot of my money to my financial guru to invest for my retirement. Didn't pan out very well, and I seized control of it. Learned how to do this myself. And long story short, most of my training was from the trenches. In the trenches training, got dirty in the mud. There's a lot to be said for that kind of training because this is the real hard knocks school, right? School of hard knocks. A lot of theory out there, but when it comes right down to it, it's what that really, that again, the school of hard knocks training and that deep stuff that really makes you a hard trader. So went through a lot of good times and some bad times, tried to learn from all those mistakes that I made. I'm sure many of you have made some mistakes. And if you don't learn from your mistakes, you're bound to do them again, right? I mean, isn't that the way things are in life? And so if I learn from my mistakes, even if it's one little thing, like a nuance, maybe if just wait a little bit or be a little more patient in this regard or wait for this indicator to actually cross over, whatever that thing was. And I celebrated, of course, the successes, but learned a lot. Eventually, I stopped doing all those things or a lot of those things that cost me money. And then what was left was just the things that made me money. And suddenly, and my whole attitude changed as well. And suddenly I started doing well. And the rest is history. So anyway, I started bringing home a lot of toys and a lot of good things suddenly turned for the better for me. That's when people started saying, Hugh, what are you doing? Did you win the lottery or what? I said, no, I'm just trading SPY options. Well, you got to show me. So we developed a little bit of a website and a little bit of a presence online. And before I knew it, we were growing like crazy and word of mouth, and people were spreading it out there. And we've been training a lot of people literally around the world. Thousands of people know our system now, I guess. And last year we were pleasantly surprised when Eagle Financial Publications took over, and a lot of the administration, marketing, whatnot, and brought their efforts in, and we scooped Aaron. And we're so excited and happy to have Aaron. I'm just going to kind of go here, the host. There's me with my Bernese Mountain Dog. I want to introduce you to Aaron, folks. Aaron's the deep dive technical analyst. This guy is great. Aaron, good evening. Welcome.
Well, good evening, Hugh, and thank you, and thank you to everyone again for thoughts and prayers for Hugh. And I'm really happy to have you back. It was a little bit rocky this last week, with a lot of the open gaps and whatnot, but we got through it, and we came out ahead, I believe, for the week. So yeah, but anyways, for myself, just a quick summary of myself. I started learning about the stock market when I was actually in middle school. I started reading the Wall Street Journal and around 13 years old. I believe I was 6 or 7 years old, and I started looking at the stock charts and the stock quotes, and I came across some of these interesting stocks that you might have heard of, like Netflix when it was still around $9, and Priceline when it was $5.50, and Marvel from Marvel Comics before it skyrocketed and was bought by Disney. So I had a keen interest in insight and ideas about the stock market and different stocks. I ended up opening up my own trading account, a joint trading account, when I was 17, started trading. And then at the .com bubble burst, I took a little bit of a break, but I came back and started studying the Forex market a little over about 14 years ago now. So I started studying the Forex market and tried a couple different systems. But I just one day I just said, you know what, let me take everything off and see what I can see. And that's when things started clicking as far as looking at patterns and trend lines and the Andrews pitchfork. I ended up going after that, self-studying for and taking my Series 3 exam and working for several different commodities firm. And most recently, I was a technical analyst for nearly $150 million commodity pool operator, which is similar to a hedge fund, where he was trading only S&P 500 options on the futures exchange. So yeah, really great, and glad to be here with you, and glad to help all of you make some money. So
Awesome. Well, we're very privileged, and that of course extends to you guys, because guys, and when I say guys, I mean guys, gals, everybody, because quite honestly, and I'm going to just throw this question out here while I'm talking, if you don't mind, answer this in the questions box. Just kind of want to get your daily goal trading options, what you're looking at. But not only am I privileged to have Aaron work with me, but you guys and gals are extremely privileged to have both of us working for you. And and pardon me if it sounds a bit arrogant, but I really wish I had a Hugh and an Aaron back when I was learning this stuff. I know for a fact I would have saved myself tons and tons and tons of money. But you actually have that, you're cutting the learning curve by an awful lot by having us here with you. And I tell you, you probably won't appreciate it unless you go down your own path and come back. We've had that happen actually quite a few times, where people would say, you know what, I was with you guys a long time ago. I thought I cut out on my own, but I'm back because I realized I really kind of need you as your mentors, and it's just a real pleasure to be able to do that. And so for that reason, I think you guys are very, very privileged and to have that. But anyway, please punch up in the questions box here what you're looking for. I'm just trying to get a feel for where we're going here, and how what kind of money you are looking to raise here on a daily basis trading options. Now, I'm also making some assumptions that you know what options are. For those of you who don't, while we're just kind of waiting for people's responses on this, very, very briefly, options are just a derivative of the underlying stock. So rather than spending $400 or $450 or whatever on a single share of SPY, you're spending a few $100s to control 100 underlying shares, and there's a lot of benefits to this. You can make money fairly quickly in a few seconds rather than wait for a long time, and you don't have to put as much of an investment in to make some serious money. Now there's some risks, obviously. You can only, with the way we trade, you can only lose what you put into the trade. But there's a lot of benefits. Now, if you expect the stock to go up, you would buy a call option. If you expect the stock to go down, you would buy a put option. You can make money going both ways. We take a look at SPY because that is the stock that's actually the stock that follows the S&P 500. So essentially, where the whole economy goes, that's where we're looking to go, which is just phenomenal, because now you don't have to look at individual companies or sectors and all these other crazy things around. around it, which really cuts down the analysis time, and huge. So for anybody who really needs more information on that, I'm going to recommend that you go to our website, DayTradeSPY.com, and just click on the contact us and book a brief one-on-one session with me, and I'll give you a brief overview as to what options are and where you should go from there. So, but I think options trading is the way to go. Since I got into options and since I got into SPY options, I never looked back, never traded anything else. And that's huge for me because I was trading everything before that. Obviously a lot. I think people start with equities. Start with a lot of times with penny stocks, right? They're cheap, so you feel, oh, I can get into that. I don't need a lot of money. I can get into that. And how many people lost money on penny stocks here back in the early days? I bet a lot, probably most. Okay, all right. Johnny minus A. Okay, John, we can make that happen for you. A lot of bees. It's actually all over the place, isn't it? Okay, we got a good variance of people here, variation of people here getting, so it's a good mix. A lot of people want to make $100 to $200. A lot of people here with B's, C's, and there's some over. Let's see, there's some D's in there as well. So, all right, good stuff. Let's get on to it. All right, so we're going to talk about here in the beachside chat, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be our again, any questions you may have, but we're going to be launching our 2 to 10K challenge. And I'm just going to change this around a little bit. Challenge. And that is going to happen now. We talked about this a couple weeks ago and been talking about kind of leading up to it, but I want to give you an official launch here tonight, tell you what it's all about. Those of you who are not familiar with it, I think you're going to be very excited about this and looking forward to it. But I was going to say something else about this thing. I can't remember now what it is. And any other questions that you have that are going to be sort of pressing onto you, including anything you might have concerning how our training goes or any of the other programs that we have. All right, let's move it along. All right, and here's the weekend review. This is what happened here. Quite of a wild swing of a week. Just going to expand this chart here and talk about what happened this last week. On Monday, we had a low, no news day. Investors took pre-market profits as it was going up here, several points. Market open, and so typical, they took their profits off the table, came down, found a little support around that 447. Then stock continued to rise back up to the mid 448s, be finding some resistance. I think we had a key resistance point in there, so it's not unusual to see it trace back off of that. On Tuesday, there's inflationary concerns again in anticipation of CPI numbers that were going to be released on Wednesday. Now, again, CPI, that's a heavy inflationary kind of an indicator that Feds are looking at as one of many indicators and considerations as to whether to raise interest rates or not. I know there's some concern about raising rates coming up this week, actually. And but the CPI numbers mean quite a bit. So when they came in, the stock dropped a little bit there, and on Wednesday the CPI numbers did come in, but they were pretty much as expected with no key surprises. So in retaliation, SPY rose in the aftermath, then dropped in anticipation of the PPI reports due the next day. So PPI is what producer price index or whatever. CPI is consumer price index. So these are two very important numbers. Oftentimes they go hand in hand, but investors got a little nervous. Well, PPI numbers are coming up the next day. Let's see what happens. So the market did drop a little bit here. And then Thursday, we did have, actually, believe it or not, some pretty good PPI numbers, but it was overshadowed by the unemployment claims, which was lower than expected, which suggested that whole labor issue, which was very critical to the Feds in their raising of their rates next week, that came in lower. So that was anyway, it was overshadowed. Anyway, what happened was SPY ended up going back up to the 451 level, which I believe was a key resistance level based on Aaron's analysis as well. We knew that the stock was going to drop there. And getting into Friday, we had quadruple witching day. This is the day, comes up 4 times a year, where stock options, stock index options, single stock futures, and stock index futures all expire on the same day. And usually you get very, very heavy volume. And it also happened to be the ex-dividend date for SPY. I don't have the number handy as to what the ex-dividend or what the dividend was on that stock. Let me see if I can just find it real quick here. Ex-dividend date for September. I think it was like $1.50 something. It doesn't really matter now after the fact here. Was it? I think it was $1 dividend yield.
The dividend yield was $1.47%, and the annual dividend was 6.51 points. And the cash amount was $1.58.
$1.58. Okay, $1.58. So typically, all things being equal, the stock will drop by the value of the dividend on ex-dividend dates. So we pretty well had an inkling that was the stock was going to go down now, and that was all in our predictions as well, and all our in our trades on Friday, and we did drop quite a bit here, 449, 450, all the way down to 443. There's a nice $7, $8 tank on that one here. So that was on Friday. Here's the weekend review. SPY did drop altogether about 0.2%. Still up almost 16% for the year. NASDAQ up 31% of the year, and the Dow's up 4.4. So what happened here? Pace of disinflation slowed as headline and core CPI came in mixed. CPI rose 0.6%. The core CPI, which excludes food and energy, only rose 4.3%. Oil prices caused acceleration in both consumer and producer prices over the last couple of months, and that put the Feds on high alert in case inflation spreads to into the broader economy. So with oil prices going up, of course, energy goes up. The cost of everything goes up because everything is delivered using energy. So the Feds are pushing to the upside on that one. Consumers do remain resilient, though, but they are showing fatigue with consumption growth, and that is losing momentum. Good news for possible interest rate hike next week. We'll see what happens. Labor market softening. All right, there's a wide gap between the job openings and the number of unemployed, but that is closing over the next 6 to 12 months as far as what they expect here, taking the heat off the Feds. And finally, the slowdown can still support markets, but the outlook appears bumpier. Path to a soft landing is widened. We may still well avoid the traditional recession they're talking about. Manufacturing, housing downturn stabilized, but the service sectors did soften. So what's coming up here? Here's the seasonal chart. Let's expand this baby as well. And this is what it looks like here when you drill down into this thing here. SPY dropped about a point last week from Monday to Friday. Seasonally, it slipped about 8 points for the following week coming up. Now, for those not familiar with this chart, that blue line is where SPY is now, and that red line is a composite of the last 5 years closing balance on the daily charts. Okay. Now, is SPY going to follow what it did historically the last 5 years? There's no guarantees, of course, but if you're a betting man, you're just simply going on history, you may want to be very cautious about going to the upside longer term, because we did drop, like you say, about 8 points in the week ahead into the end of September. Speaking of the end of September, Aaron, can you believe it? We're almost at the end of September here.
Oh, wow.
It's just crazy. I mean, I'm looking here. One more week is the 22nd. 2 weeks, and we're into October. I don't know where the years are going by. The months, weeks slipping by. It just seems to go faster the older we get. Anyway, Monday coming up, we have a low or no news day. Not a lot going on Monday. Tuesday, we have a little bit of building permits and housing starts numbers. Probably not that influential, but on Wednesday, all right, we're going to kick it up a notch with the Fed funds rate and all that entails. That'll be coming up around 2:00 on Wednesday, and they'll be talking about all that, the conference calls, all that wonderful stuff. Fed Chair Powell, I'm sure is going to be speaking about that. So the market so far has been factoring in, I think, a no rate increase on Wednesday on September the 20, was it the 22nd or 20th? I think on Friday we had like a 3% or something that they figured was going to be a 25 basis point, but I think the majority of analysts predict there's going to be a no increase on interest rate on Wednesday. If that is the case, expect the stock to go up. Thursday, look for unemployment claims, Philly Fed manufacturing index, and Philly manufacturing index, I should say, and existing home sales. These are the events that are going to be moving markets on Thursday. And on Friday, we have flash manufacturing and a flash services PMI report as well. So that's what we're going to see this coming week. At least that's what is scheduled. Anything unscheduled, of course, we have no idea. Expect low volatility going into Tuesday morning. Then watch it pick up a little bit into Wednesday afternoon and extend it into the week. So trading could be range bound early in the week, possibly even push down midweek and wilder swings into Friday. I'm even thinking here Monday and Tuesday we might even see a bit of a pullback to the downside. But again, we're not going to know until Aaron presents his analysis in the morning trading room, because that's really where the rubber meets the road, and that's where we get live data, and all the analysis is in real time, real market environment. So you got to be in there to see that. So this is kind of the way we see it right now, but this is the way it could be, the way I see it at the moment. So suggested, aim for smaller realistic gains, especially as we head into midweek. Be very careful come Wednesday with the Fed announcement. And I hope we don't see any surprises there. If they do raise rates, it'll be a surprise for many people, and I would expect the stock to go down quite a bit. So, all right, many opportunities daily, ladies and gentlemen, many opportunities. Just got to get a drink of water here. We teach you how to spot them, how to trade them. All right, that's what we do. We've been doing this since publicly since 2010. 14 years we've been doing this, Aaron. 14 years. Have you ever held a job for 14 years, Aaron? Maybe you have.
No, I think the longest job that I had that long was when I was with my ex.
That would have been a job, right? Oh, that's actually too funny. I gotta give you a bell. You're fast. You're fast. Yeah, I know that feeling. Oh man, you gotta wake up in the morning, go to work, but you're not working. Oh, yes, I am. I'm just throwing this spreadsheet out, folks. This is just a sample of what we did the last time. We did this back in the spring, April to mid-July. We actually came in about a week or so under our target date. We actually took $2,000 and turned it into $10,000. Very methodically, without breaking a sweat. What we would do is we would take our beginning balance with $2,000 and had a very modest target every day. And it was a very systematic approach, very cautious. What we would do is we look at our bread and butter setups. We look at, all these various things. We look at the fundamentals, all these different things. And then when we saw the opportunity, we would buy how many options $2,000 would give us. And then we set a target price, made sure there was plenty of runway. By that, I mean, for the rollout, is there ample room for the stock to go into? When I say runway, I'm bringing out my aviation experience. And I mentioned this earlier a couple of weeks ago that, as a pilot, we like to land on runways. There's a concept. But not only that, you have to make sure the runway is clear down the track, because you're coming in pretty fast and you need that room to slow the plane down and actually come to a stop. Especially when you're pulling into like farmers' fields, where oftentimes you'll see animals basking in the sun on that clearing, i.e. the runway. So whenever you do that, you have to go around and check that the runway is in fact clear and there's no obstacles like coyotes, foxes, that sort of thing, because these animals are actually very arrogant and they will look up at you and say, what are you doing on my turf? You get out of here. I'm staying here. And you can imagine how messy it could be if you run into one of those guys. So I don't know what would be worse, killing them or having them angered where they come after you. But and there's been several times where I had to go down and chase them out of there. So you fly low with the noise, they look up at you and they actually wander off. Then you can come in for the landing. But so that's one of the things we look at. So there's a number of things we look at. We get into the trade, we make the trade. Oftentimes we're in there for a very short period of time. and we advance and we track what we're doing, right? It's just completely tracking what it's doing. So this is just a sample of the spreadsheet that we're going to be doing. And again, we turned $2,000 into over $10,000 within 3 months. So what happened here was, by popular demand, we were actually thrust into this. So tonight we are actually launching this. Come on, baby. There you go. He's gone. All right, we're actually launching our version 2 of this program, the 2 to 10K challenge. And we are actually going to start this next Monday, September the 25th. Okay, a week from now. Now, here's how this works. It's going to be hosted in the trading room, and trading room members will be watching it live as it happens. You want to get in on this, folks, because this is really awesome. You can trade along with us, make money. You can adjust it to whatever you want to do. There's some folks that want to take 5,000 and turn it into 50. There are some people that want to make, just to start with 1,000, turn into 5, and whatever you want to do. But you can trade along with us and make money with us, or just watch. I've got some people that they're just entertained by this. It's actually pretty cool. So we're going to be talking about this right near the beginning here in our trading room every morning, looking at the setups, identifying which way we're looking at going, and entering in our positions. Okay. Now I should tell you a little bit about what's going to happen in that, and that is in fact, I think I've got a spreadsheet on that here. Let me see if we can just pull it up. Let me see. Do I have that spreadsheet? Hang on. Let me see if we can find it for you. Here it is. All right, here it is. Okay, I'm just going to pull it up right here. This will be the spreadsheet that we are looking at, and we're going to so we're going to monitor this starting September the 25th, and within 3 months we expect to hit $10,000. Now look at this. Where did I go? I don't know if this is it or not. I think I have to expand this here. Anyway, I guess what I'm saying here, copy and take this further out. Maybe if I paste this up here. No, that's not it. I will have to, let's see, I'll figure this out here. Anyway, fill, series, weekday. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I did have another spreadsheet on this where actually I had the final the $10,000 mark did hit the target on December the 25th. Now imagine for a second how exciting it would be, right? 3, 4. How exciting it would be for you to hit your 10,000 mark, before Christmas, before the holiday season. So, and that is the whole plan. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm just going to save this. Okay, here we go. Save. Okay, there we go. So that's the plan. That's the plan. And we're going to just do this nicely and in the trading room. So, all right, now let's get on the trading. What's the trading room all about? Do you have to join the trading room? The answer is yes. Yes, you do, but you're going to want to. You're going to want to. Why? Because it's moderated by, I'm going to call ourselves expert traders, professional traders. What do you want to call ourselves, Aaron? That's what we do. We don't do anything else. We don't go working for somebody else, and this is what we do on the side. This is what we do full time. Full time. All right. So you have the benefit of Aaron and myself. Now, here's the real cool thing. So Aaron has his deep dive analysis indicators. These are indicators not a lot of people even know about or use, but from his extensive background, all of that knowledge he had put to use for decades, he's compiled a series of indicators that when combined, they are extremely powerful, very predictive even. And when you see it unfold, it's like, wow. Now, I also have a series of indicators. Now, unlike Aaron, I'm not that smart to know where the stock is going to be a year from now, or 6 months from now, or even a month from now, or even a week from now. But I'm pretty good at predicting where it's going to go today. So I've got my set of indicators, and Aaron's got his set of indicators. Now, when we both say we see the market is going up, here's when it's going to hit. And when it goes here, you better get into some calls because it's going to go up. Folks, you better buy calls when we tell you that, because chances are very highly likely that the market's going to go up when both of our indicators go up. What's that saying, Aaron? When our indicators
Unite, our trades ignite.
When our indicators unite, our trades ignite. That's just not a slogan, folks. That's actually the way it works. And it's unbelievable. So we have this thing called the yellow brick road, and we have this other thing we're working on. We'll talk about that later. But it's uncanny how predictive you can make it. So we have a number of things that we talk about in the trading room. And these are strategies. We have different strategies. So we've got several strategies, and now we're going to be doing the 2 to 10K strategy. That's one. We have our OMG, which is out of the morning gate within the first 5 minutes where the stock closes. That's the direction we're going to go. We aim for 6% on that one. We have the pick of the day, which is actually another subscription, but we talk about that later in the morning as well. We have our bread and butter strategy. There's a lot of things that go on. And it's mostly a learning tool for you because we actually discuss everything that we talk about. Now it does go fast. I will admit there are times when it goes actually pretty fast, but that's not a problem because we'll go back and review just what we did, what we're looking at, why we thought it was going to go the way it did. So, but don't worry if it seems to be going too fast for you, because you will pick it up. The longer you spend in the trading room, the better you're going to be with this. Okay, it's just the nature of this. The market doesn't really wait for us to get in the game. You know, it's like a football game. You know, you can't. You know, you got to get with the program, but you will. Trust me, you will. Again, going back to my aviation days, I remember I'm trying to get in the middle of the camera here. I remember learning how to fly. I remember I could take off and do all the air work, stall, spins, dives, all that wonderful stuff. But damn it, if I could land the plane nicely, it just kind of fell out of the sky, very ugly, very sloppy. And I remember the one time I even blew out a tire. My instructor said, "Okay, the first one we pay for. Any subsequent tire blowouts or any other damage, you got to pay." And I asked him, I said, you know, am I ever going to learn this? Like, yeah, geez, why? He says, yes, you will. Yes, you will. Again, review it. You know, your landing starts 5 miles back, envision where the plane's going to be, the attitude, the speed, the height, all that stuff. And one day it's just going to snap. And you know what? He was right. I'll never forget the day, because where I was in the plane, I could actually look down, and we didn't have a skirt on the tires. You could actually see the tires. And all of a sudden I see the tires spinning. So I'm on the ground. It's what we call a greaser. And they say it's a good landing if you can use the plane again. And this was actually a great landing. And so all the runways have numbers on them. Okay. And so I landed right on the number, perfectly aligned, smooth as silk. And it seemed that after that one incident, it was never a problem. I always had good landings. Didn't matter, crosswind, headwind, even tailwind. It was a good landing, and instantly I just, whatever it was, my coordination, whatever it was, it just worked out very well. And that's the way it is with trading. So the longer you're with us in these programs, and the longer the more you're paying attention and getting to learn all of this, the better you're going to be. And one day you're just going to wake up and say, "Oh, that was an easy trade. That was a good trade." You're going to be your gut feeling is going to identify a good trade. It's also going to identify when not to get in a trade, because not all setups are good trades. Okay, not all setups you should be in, but instantly you're going to learn, and all of a sudden it's going to click. And you're going to have one good trade, another good trade, another good trade, another good trade, another good trade, and you're going to have this whole series of good trades. And that's just the way it was. So learn and earn. And by the way, these sessions are interactive. I want to tell you that. So because it is a learn and earn session, all right, we invite people to ask questions. So if there's something you're not understanding, you might want to expand on it. Well, what exactly is theta and delta? How do they work with the options? Or whatever you want to ask, and we'll endeavor to answer your questions. Because chances are, if you ask the question, there's 10 other people wanting to know the same thing. Now, bear in mind, the questions are not out there for public display, so you don't have to ever be embarrassed. And again, it's really a learning opportunity for you. All right. So we teach what we trade and we trade what we teach. We're not just sitting here throwing all kinds of theory at you. Well, this should work. Well, maybe it will, maybe it won't, but in real life, it won't. We tell you why it won't work in real life. I remember learning some of the stuff, and I remember a lot of times people say, well, there's a great setup. All they talked about was the setups and get in, get in. Well, they never told you about the runway aspect of it. Well, will this actually go to the point where I'm going to make my profit? Maybe it'll go beyond my profit, but they sort of never told you that. It's kind of like teaching you how to take off in the plane, but never actually teaching you how to land. What they say, what goes up has to come down. So they say, what is it? Takeoffs are optional, landings are mandatory. So you want to make sure you're able to get out of trades too. That's what we teach you. I think that's probably more important than actually getting into a trade. Anybody can get into a trade. It's getting out of the trade that's the tough one. So watch us make real trades, real setups, using real money. Now, admittedly, that's not always going to be, because by law, we can only show you a simulated account. Unfortunately, that is the way it is, but we also do trade real money and, off to the side, and we often talk about our real trades as well. Okay. Again, questions. If you have any questions, get them answered in real time. I don't know of any other service. All right. I don't know of any other service that does that. I don't know of any other service that's as long running as ours. We've been doing this for our 14th year, continuous. And now coming up, not tomorrow, but the following Monday, we're going to be starting our 2 to 10K challenge, September the 25th, to wrap it up. And we'll wrap it up before Christmas, before December the 25th. That'll be an amazing holiday gift. Now imagine that. Let's say you start with $2,000 and yet, and you turn it into $10,000. I think it's a pretty cool holiday gift when you say that. Folks, my question to you is, can you afford not to subscribe to this? So when you drill this down, $6.99 for 3 months, we're talking here about, I think, probably around $10 a day or something, basically a price of a Subway lunch for one of us. Aaron, you and I would have to split a sandwich if they were to do this. But tell you what, I'll let you have the sandwich on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and if I can Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, my sandwich is going to be a little bit less. I don't know, as far as diet wise, you might want one of those, triple cold cuts or something like that, a little bit less fattening. But my Subway sandwich is usually just the veggie delight or the veggie patty, to be honest. But usually not that expensive.
Usually funny to say that because, but I actually, that's my favorite too. I look at the meat that they have, and so I'm not going to identify the company, but it's a very popular chain. But I look at that and say, man, you're passing that off. I don't know. Just give me the lettuce, tomato, and onions. That'll be cool. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, can you afford not to subscribe? That's my question. And I see some people already online who are already subscribers. Nice to see you on, Mike V, Payling. Nice to see you on. The answer to your question, Payling, yes. I will send you a copy of that spreadsheet, not a problem. And anybody else here? Mike, not sure we're going to be able to get to specific questions on trades that we're holding into this coming Friday from the trading room. We'll address your questions, Mike, for sure tomorrow in the trading room. All right, so now let's just have a little fireside chat. Actually, it's still kind of sunny and warm out today, so we're back to the beach. This is the beach side, a beachside chat. So, all right, what questions, Aaron? Are there any questions up on the board here that you've got to address here? What do you have?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I think we have a few. So if we follow you, we should hit 10K, right? I mean, is this rules based? And if so, what are the rules?
Okay, it's going to be rules based. There's going to be rules based, and not to say we can't bend the rules sometimes, but it's going to be rules based. We're going to try and stick right to the rules. What are the rules? You'll have to be in the trading room to find that out. Okay, that's just one of the proprietary things that the trading room has. So once you join the trading room, you will be given the rules. And if you follow the rules, you should hit your target. By the way, I should tell you that spreadsheet that I showed you here. It's really odd because I had that spreadsheet with the, I wonder what happened to it. I know what happened to it. I think I've got, let me just look for it. I actually have a budget on that. And I'm trying to find this thing here. Hang on a second. If I can find this, bear with me, guys. No, that's not it. Oh, darn. That's okay. We'll show you in the trade room. I have a budget as to how much we're looking to make every day. Okay. So in the spreadsheet, we're going to have our daily goal. If we go over our daily goal, that'll of course be a bonus, and which will enable us to hit our target well in advance. Okay. Well in advance. And that's kind of the way it is. It is going to be rules based, and we'll give you the rules in the trading room. So everybody in the trading room is going to be privy to the rules, and you'll also get a copy of the spreadsheet. So next question. Any other questions?
Any guarantees that you'll make it to 10K from 2 to 10K?
Okay. Okay, so guarantees. I can give you an ironclad guarantee that you will lose your money if you do not know what you are doing with options. Can I give you a guarantee you're going to hit the 10,000? It would be irresponsible of me to say that. And if anybody ever guarantees you that kind of a thing, they are not able to do that legally or morally. Anything can happen. All right. It's just, the market is the market, and there's nobody walking the face of this earth except a handful of people that know where the markets are going to be. And I'm sorry, Jerome Powell, Fed Chair Jerome Powell, as close as we are, he will not reveal to me what he's going to say in advance. But nice guy. But he could probably tell you where the markets are going to go, but he's not going to do that. And Aaron, you were online so many times when he would call me to ask my advice. But sorry, Mr. Powell, Jerome, I can't talk now. I'm doing the trading room. These people are important to me. That's actually a joke, just to be clear. But I have to say that. Someone's going to take it seriously. You know how it goes. Yeah. But
well, it's very believable. Those imitations are extremely believable. That's the problem.
I actually had some people believe in it, but it's I can see it. But it's nobody can guarantee. All right, nobody can guarantee. But the way we have this set up and our goals are so realistic, more than realistic, very conservative, that I would be surprised if we don't hit them. I'd be surprised if we don't hit them. Again, you're talking here to two people, Aaron and myself. Combined, we have over 40 years market experience. And that's saying we've been successful for 40 years and all, we learn. So imagine if, let's think about this. I was in the hospital, and I guess, would I like to have a surgeon who has 4 months experience, 4 weeks, or 40 years? I'd probably feel pretty confident with a surgeon who's got 40 years behind him, assuming he kept up on the technology. And that's kind of the way this is, with all the experience. And I'm talking about hard. And Aaron also came from a muddied background. I'm going to call it the deep in the trenches background. I'm going to say that because
I was in the foxhole. I was in the foxhole with a rifle. And I was shooting the bad guys that were out to get me. Yes, of course.
This is how we learn. I'm sure many of you have taken other courses in the past, and you take the course, you buy the course, right? You spend a lot of money on the course, you take it home, and you start getting and you say, well, wait a second, this isn't quite what they told us in the session. Who do I? And then you call somebody. You don't get somebody speaking English. You don't get somebody who's giving you answers. You're very frustrated. I remember this one program I have. I can't remember the name of it. I don't even want to mention it, even if I did. But it would give you an audible signal, and you load this thing and it would go ding, 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 ding. Oh my gosh, it drive you crazy. Buy, sell, buy, sell. But it never actually gave you, accurate indicators that would result in money. As a matter of fact, I lost money on probably just about everything that I got. In fact, probably everything I got, whether I didn't know how to use it right, or it didn't work, or it didn't work for me, or work for other people. I don't know. but these things did not work for me. And I ended up spending an awful lot of money on these other courses. All those things that I teach you, I learned the hard way. All right. And this is what makes me money now, the hard way. You're going to learn things from us, Aaron and myself, that are probably contrary to what you're going to, what you've learned elsewhere. And yeah, so I think that's really important. And it's really important. So anyway, any guarantees you'll make? There's no guarantees, but we did it last time. I have no reason to think we're not going to do it again. So take it for what it's worth. And let's put it this way. Let's say you take 2,000 to 5,000. Is that so bad? That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But
yeah, I mean, most hedge funds can't do that and do it consistently. I mean, most hedge funds, you'll be lucky if you get, 20, 25% a year. That's considered gangbusters, because they have a team of analysts, they have a team of traders. They want to be very conservative with their positions, so when we're talking about numbers like this, I mean, this is extremely good.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I've not traded commercially for anybody else. I have traded in the past, some friends' money. I'm not going to do that again, but I can tell you that if you trade other people's money, like, okay, I don't like to lose money, but I really don't want to lose your money. So I can only imagine the stress that if you were to put on a trade with other people's money, especially millions of dollars, that has to perform. That cannot possibly be a stress-free kind of a thing to do. If you take your job seriously. So yeah, I think that's one reason we are able to have the returns that we have, is because we're trading our own real money, and it's about risk and reward. And when you understand the risks and the rewards that go with it, you don't mind going out a little bit more on the limb, because you understand what's happening, both technically and fundamentally. When they line up, and when Aaron's indicators line up, and when my indicators line up, man, this thing's going where it's going. For example, Friday, perfect example. On Friday, we all determined the market's going to go down, and down it went. 7-8 points by the end of the day. So,
yeah.
We've had some people chime in that they made a lot of money on Friday to the downside, and they thanked us. They said, "My goodness, thank you very much for going to the downside. How did you know? This is what we teach. We teach you at some point." So here's the way it works. You're going to come in not knowing things. You're going to come in, okay, and then eventually you're going to go up. You're going to learn a lot of things. You're going to learn. You can become very good at it. And it could be years down the road. You can say, I'm comfortable. I can do this myself. I'm going to cut out. Thank you very much. And you're going to be okay with it. Some people, they do okay. Other people, they come back for refresher because they just like the camaraderie. They even tolerate our bad jokes. So anyway, next question, Aaron. What do you got here?
Let me see. I think if we get into the trading room by next week and just follow you, will that work?
Okay, so you're asking if you're in the trading room next Sunday, will it work? Well, it'll be baptism by fire. You're going to jump right into it. So what I would suggest is that you actually subscribe now, get into the trading room this week, learn what we do as best as you can, so that when we're actually doing the 2 to 10K challenge the week after, you're a little more comfortable. Okay. It's like, you're kind of getting into the pool. You kind of want to go ease in a little bit. You don't want, it's too cold, right? So you kind of go on feet first and then kind of work your way up. So you don't want to kind of shock your body. And that's kind of what I'm thinking here. I would recommend that you get into the trading room as soon as you can, learn what we do, get comfortable with it. And then when we hit the ground running with the 2 to 10K challenge, you're good to go. You're part of it. So don't hold on. What are you going to save? I don't know what, 40, 50 bucks, whatever the week is. Look at all you're going to learn in that week. And you're going to learn about the other strategies that we have as well. All right. Next question here before we get too deep into this. I don't want to kind of keep everybody all night here, but do
you ever hold overnight? Do you ever hold your positions overnight?
Okay. Hold overnight. I don't plan on it. I don't plan on, hang on a second. Just got to hit this button first of all. Stop it. Okay, there we go. Once in a while, the system is set up to enable that if we do have to hold overnight, we can. But our goal is to get in and out of trades quickly. So we're not going to we don't aim to hold overnight. We want to get in for a few minutes, get in and get out. That is the objective. Okay. So, but if we do have to hold overnight, we will be comfortable with doing so. Okay. But prefer not to. All right. Next question here. Did I lose you?
Yeah. Do you do spreads?
No spreads. This one will be straight buying and selling calls and puts. Buying first, then selling. So we're going to keep it as simple as possible. All right. No cumbersome, complex spreads that are going to that you have to manage, roll over into the next month, over into the next price. None of that. We're going to identify breakout or whatever that trend is. We're going to buy first, then sell. Okay, simple as that. So everybody online will be able to do it. That's the objective. Okay.
And the another question we have here is you were talking about another strategy at one point. Will this be part of that? I think they probably are talking about the top secret strategy that we're working on in the background, but I could be wrong. Perhaps you know more about this, Hugh.
No, that's exactly it. That top secret strategy is we're still doing a lot of testing on that one. We're not going to bring that out yet. That will be coming out later, and it is so awesome. And you're going to love that one too. And by the way, I'm pretty confident that those in the trading room are going to, I can't say for sure who's going to be privy to it first, but I'm pretty confident if it goes like with everything else, those in the trading room will be privy to that new strategy before anybody else. So I think that's going to be really exciting. Actually, I'm pumped up on that one here. So yeah, but this will not be part of that. That new strategy will not be part of this. This 2 to 10K challenge will be simply buying and selling calls and puts, hopefully in for a few minutes every day, get in, make that little bit of money and get out, wait for the next one the next day. Got a couple other questions here from the board before we kind of wrap it up here. I'm already a subscriber to the trading room. Does this automatically renew every 3 months? Robert, the answer is yes. You get every 3-month renewal, and you don't have to worry about it. Now, if something should happen, some technical glitch, and it bumps you out after 3 months because there's something that's gone goofy, just email us, and we'll make sure that you don't miss a beat. Okay. And every Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, the links go out for the following Monday, the whole week actually. So, and if you don't have it by I want to say 10, 11 o'clock Sunday night, email us, let us know, make sure that you get your links, and you should have them. Another question here. Let's see, you mentioned a chart setup video in the Ultimate Training Workshop, but I'm unable to find it. Could you please post a link here? Thanks. Tom, I'm going to have to take a look at that video link for chart setups. All right. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one here. Michelle, how long is the session in the daily room and what time does it start? Good question. I thought I had that in there. Every morning we get together at 9:20 Eastern time. The room actually opens at about 9 o'clock. So we play music. The reason we play music is so you can make sure your audio is alive and well. If you log on at say 9:10 and there's no sound, check your speakers, your software, everything. Make sure that that your audio is alive. Okay. This way we don't have to spend 10, 15, 20 minutes at the beginning of the session. And can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Have you ever been in a webinar like that? Can you hear me okay? No, you're all set to go. 9:20, we get together. We discuss the fundamentals, the news that's driving the markets today, what happened overnight, where we see the market going today. And then we get into the technicals. Come 9:30, that's it. We're looking to enter positions, and we get in, make our trades. Oftentimes we've hit our daily target by 9:35, 9:40, but we stay till 10:30. A little after 10 o'clock, we get into Aaron's deep dive analysis. So anybody who wants to stay on longer and look at those little longer term opportunities, we get in and do those. And by 10:30, we wrap it up. And we don't monopolize your day. This is not a coffee club where people come and go and everybody's sitting in front of the microphone. These are actually events. that people schedule their lives around because they want to get in. They want to make sure that they get every bit of it as they possibly can. We also have a lot of fun. It's very light. It's entertaining. So I think you're going to really enjoy it. What other questions? Any other questions here? And what if you can't be online due to meetings? Are you sending out trades direction? All right, we will. Okay, so Eric, he question is, what if you can't be online due to meetings or whatever, work, whatever? Do you send out trades or direction? All right, so right now we have the pick of the day, which is a subscription service. Every morning at about a little after 9 o'clock, you will get an email that gives you the pick that we are interested in trading at 9:30 off the opening bell. A couple little rules around that one. If the stock is going against you, you just wait for the turnaround, then get in the first candle. It's going in your direction after 9:30. The 1 minute candle, buy then. Put it up for sale for 6% profit target, and you should get your gain. You ever notice that my video freezes in the ugliest pose I can give you? Why is that? What does the camera know that goofy look? That disgusting look, and that's where it freezes.
I think what you have to do, Hugh, is take ventriloquist lessons and just smile big and just hold that pose for the entire duration, and then it'll take the best snapshot.
Oh gosh, that's about it, isn't it? Yeah. Can we pay monthly or just one quarter? Okay, so since Eagle took it over, they're so overwhelmed, so many other subscriptions and different things. So we do it quarterly. All right, so there's good and bad. I guess it's not bad, but it's just good and better. So they do it quarterly. Now, it's not a lot of money, all right? And Eric, I know you, and I know this is coffee money to you, buddy. Get in there, dig deep in your pockets and get in this thing. I think there's a little bit of a money back guarantee as well. If you don't like it, if it's not for you, you know what, you get your money back. We never used to have that before. So there's some good things that coming out of that. But yeah, and this way you don't have to worry about a monthly payment or things. It's a quarterly subscription, and it's actually pretty cool. It also facilitates the fact that, and every now and then we get this. We used to get this a long time ago. Well, I'm not going to be there Monday and Tuesday. Can you put my subscription on hold? I say, well, no, we can if you're not there for a week or so. Then it's a lot of bookkeeping and that kind of administrative work. So this way it cuts down on that administrative work. But I think you'll find that it's priced so well that even if you miss 1 or 2 days, it's not the end of the world. You're not, it's not costing you a lot of money. Okay, so I think that's actually really pretty cool. So always good to hear from you guys. Eric, good to hear from you. Tom, everybody, good to hear from you. So Tom, tell you what, just to facilitate your question, can you please send that request to customer service at DayTradeSPY? All right, I think they should be able to facilitate you probably faster than I would be able to. Okay, so email your question to customer service at DayTradeSPY. All right, I think with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it an evening. And Aaron, thank you too for joining in here and all that wonderful information you gave us. And we'll see you in the trading room tomorrow morning, folks. I believe there's going to be a URL where you can subscribe, or simply go to the website DayTradeSPY.com and click on the subscribe to the trading room, or watch your email. You should be getting emails about this program. Do not miss it. It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you. Have a good night.